Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for our third Call for Twinnings informative webinar. People is now still joining, and we will have 1 minute more. So I will start introduce myself meanwhile. So my name is María Bernabé. I am project manager at Ticbiomed, and we are one of the Procure4Health founding members. And today we are here to launch our third call for Twinnings, this Procure4Health funding opportunity that most of you all already know because we launched the last year, we launched the first and second call, and we are now launching the third call. So let me share with you some housekeeping rules. As you can see, your microphone now are muted. And if you have any question, I kindly ask you to send them through the Q&A box that you can find in the bottom of the screen. So we will be addressing them at the end of the presentation during the Q&A session. So this session, as you can see, will be entirely recorded, and we will upload after the session the video on our Procure4Health website. So we will start with the introduction of the Procure4Health community by Carlos Larrañeta, the Procure4Health project coordinator from Fundación Progreso Salud. Then we will move to the key topic of this webinar, that is the call for twinning overview. So we will have Magnus Wallengren from Innovation Skåne, the leader of this funding opportunity within Procure4Health. We will have them sharing the main aspects of this third call for twinnings opportunity. Then we will go into details in terms of the application process and how to find a partner. So we will have Fakih from Healthcare Without Harm introducing the application process, so how to submit your proposal in our Procure4Health platform, and he will be presenting the matchmaking tool that we have available in the platform as well. Then we will dive into the document structures, and Magnus will give you 5 tips to prepare and to craft a good proposal. We will have a Q&A session where we will be solving all your doubts and concerns you may have. So this is why I ask to send you everything through the Q&A box. So please type there all the questions you may have, and we will be addressing them at the end of the presentation. And then after close the session, we will devote some time, we will give time to the InnoFacilitator project. So we have here today with us Esther Martínez from Salud, another of our founding members in Procure4Health, and she will be presenting another funding opportunity they currently have in this project regarding the coaching services that they are offering to procurers now at this time. So that's all from my side. So I want to give the floor to Carlos. So Carlos, it's over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Maria. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. Thank you for joining us today. Let me share my screen. I'm going to be very brief. I'm just going to do a quick introduction about who we are, Procure4Health, why are we doing this, and a quick overview of what do we mean by procurement of innovation, since we're going to be talking all the time about it. I think, let me put this in full mode. Now it is okay. Okay, Maria already introduced me, but I'm Carlos Larrañeta. I work for the Andalusian public health care system. and I coordinate this, the Procure4Health community. Procure4Health, who are we? Well, we are the demand of innovative solutions that will help improve health and care services across Europe. The core of our community is the procurers, but let me say that this figure of procurer is anything but homogeneous. It's anything but homogeneous. I mean, we understand as procurers as anyone that has a clear mandate to procure in the health and care sector, meaning that among our members, we have national ministries of health in Turkey, regional ministries like ourselves in Andalusia, we have groups of hospitals, we have individual hospitals, or we have central purchasing bodies. The good news, let's say, and I'll talk a little bit about it, is that the procurement of innovation, even though it has its phases, it still has room to be adapted to the specificality of each one of us. Okay, so this is us. Procurement of innovation. Brief introduction I'm going to do here. Main concept. Procurement of innovation is, instead of going to buy off the shelf a possible already solution that has been developed that might fit only partially whatever need we have that can be improved by the uptake of innovation. What procurement of innovation is about is defining the needs that we have, sharing them with the market, and then telling the market, if you're able to find a solution, we will procure it. But we will not only procure the final outcome, we will also procure the final stages of its development. The main objective behind this is that the final solution really fit the needs we have. What's the deal about procurement of innovation, and in particular in the health sector? As I said, I mean, procurement of innovation, European Commissions, ourselves, I mean, we're our task, mostly within our organizations, is to work to improve the services, improve the life of the end users, clinicians and patients. Those are our focus. But the thing about procurement of innovation is that it is complex. Not complex conceptually, but complex because we want to implement it in very complex organizations, which are health and care systems. So we need to understand, we need to coordinate many stakeholders throughout the journey of procurement of innovations. For this, I mean, when we are talking about the stakeholders, we're talking about clinicians and patients, as I said, and users, but at some point, we also need to engage with the management of our health systems. We need to engage with procurement services. We need to engage with legal services. So these are activities that have to be coordinated. For this, there is an intangible, but we need the culture of innovation to filter through our organizations. We need human resources capacitated to do this. And as I said before, procurement of innovation is about co-creation, working together the demand of innovation and the supply of the innovation. And there is also something that needs to be structured. This probably Magnus is going to also to share this slide, but this is the conceptualization we have about the procurement of innovation journey. If you look at it, it just makes sense. Procurement of innovation makes sense. I mean, this is how it is conceptualized. It's a series of phases that goes, and they start in phase one by assessing and prioritizing what are those needs that we have that we can solve by uptaking innovative solutions. A second phase will be to share these needs with the market, the innovation ecosystem, and asking them, Could you find a solution for this? Is it feasible? What resources would you need? How long would it take? How much is it going to cost me to maintain this solution once I deploy it in my institution? With that information, then we go into phase 3, and we launch the tender process. We do the evaluation of the proposals received. We do the evaluation of the technological development by the market. And if we get a successful deployment, successful, let's say, piloting and finding a solution, then we need to scale this and deploy it in our organizations. So as I said, it is something that is just makes sense. And the good news about this is that within each phases, procurement of innovation instrument leaves room for flexibility to be adapted to each one of our specificities or, let's say, legal framework we have to move within. So this is our general overview of what is procurement of innovation. What are we doing in Procure4Health? Well, our main objective in Procure4Health is that at the end, there are as many health and care services providers, procurers, uptaking this instrument, using this instrument, the procurement of innovation instrument, to improve their services. And as I said at the beginning, for that, we need to build our capacities. We want to foster cooperation. And as a final outcome, we need to understand how to make these two instruments much more efficient. As I said, our main objective is that this instrument is widely used, so we can say we move to a scenario of mass production of procurement of innovation projects. And as you well know, anything that is produced regularly is much more efficient. So that's our main objective at the end. For that purpose, and this is just my last 2 slides, very quick overview of what we are doing or what you have available in our community and what kind of activities you can engage and take advantage of. As I said, there is a big box of capacity building. If you go and register in our platform, you'll see that we have already a capacity building catalog. Those are resources, practical resources provided by our members, examples of projects, open market consultations, strategies, programs, procedures. There's useful documents that you can have access there. We have also a repository of training material that we have been and are producing, with articles, webinars explaining and getting into the details of the different phases of the procurement of innovation journey. And we have the Twinnings, one of our main tools. Twinnings is a very interesting instrument to learn from peers, exchange experience, and foster cooperation, which is in the core of our community, obviously. Our other main group of activities is our working groups. These are the working groups we have available and are running. You can request to become a member or to be part of the discussion on any of these groups that you are interested in. These working groups focus on sharing practical experience and addressing challenges, and we try to do it on ongoing projects and ongoing experience. By collaborating with peers, you can gain access in valuable insight and find solutions to obstacles that you may face in your ongoing projects. I mean, it's about sharing experience, about finding joint solutions, and making recommendations about how can we overcome those obstacles that we may find in our innovation projects. So this is my quick overview of procurement of innovation and Procure4Health community. And now I'm going to leave the floor to Magnus. He's going to get into the interesting part of this webinar, which are the details of our founding opportunity. Go ahead, Magnus.
All right, thank you very much, Carlos. It's great to see all of you here today. We are going to dive into a little bit more about the actual topic of the day, the call for proposals under this funding opportunity that is called Twinnings, that we are opening in our project. My name is Magnus Wallengren. I work at an organization called Innovation Skåne in Sweden. We are a innovation company fully owned by the region of Skåne in the very south of Sweden, and we do a lot of work in innovation procurement and these types of projects. But enough about me, and more about the offering that we are opening today through the Procure4Health community. For these Twinnings, we invite healthcare and social care actors to learn more about the adoption of innovation, of innovative products or services, and the structural capacity building in procurement methodologies to allow this to happen. Twinnings, by definition, is a knowledge exchange and capacity building programs. This means that these Twinnings are proposed in partnerships between 2 or more procuring organizations. And each of these awarded partnerships receive up to 30,000 euros in funding for any type of joint activities that is targeting increased capacity in innovation procurement. I think that there's a lot of information being offered in the various types of documentation that's available right now. But if we are pointing to 2 overarching principles, is that the first one being Twinnings is the main concept is about not needing to reinvent the wheel when it comes to the current available existing knowledge and current best practices when it comes to these innovation adoption processes. This is an opportunity to learn more about what are the best practices within the domain, what can be gathered from other domains, and what types of services do we need to be able to define these processes and adopt these innovations in our organizations. The objective of any proposed twinning can be the transfer of knowledge and experience around a variety of perspectives. It can be around the use of a specific product or service. It can be around an improved understanding of a process or methodology, such as, for instance, value-based procurement approaches. It can be about developing strategies specifically targeting innovation procurement as a matter of increasing the innovation adoption capacity in your organization. So it can be a number of things, and we hope that this really comes through as well in this funding opportunity, that it is going to be quite flexible according to your actual needs and the context that you operate in. I'm reusing this image, but rebranding it a little bit, not talking so much about innovation procurement itself, but rather considering it as a kind of generic process for the adoption of innovation. You could certainly say that any types of these processes starts with the understanding and the exploration of an organizational need. What types of products or services are currently available that can address that need? If there are none, how can we promote the development of such products that can target that need and help us out? How do we co-develop and collaborate around with the market for such development, and how do we deploy the results and get the necessary impact that we so sorely need? So this is a process made up of quite specific steps, and under each step there are a number of questions and issues that need to be understood before we can accurately proceed to the next step. We need to understand what is a specific definition of our actual unmet need. We need to understand what are the available products targeting and addressing that need. we need to, for co-development purposes, we need to understand how we can safely engage with industry under the laws of competitive procurement. And to be able to procure those results, we need to understand how we can compare and evaluate different types of innovative solutions between each other. And if we take a little bit of a step back, there are several perspectives that need to be considered when we address unmet needs by implementing innovative products or services. If we do so, which we often need by public and private cooperation, these types of cooperation can take on many forms. And as procurers, we need to understand those forms to fully be able to navigate in the regulatory and legal landscape, and to be able to collect the results that are the outcomes of this co-development. And this is the key for the funding being available from Procure4Health Twinnings. Understanding these steps, planning the procurement strategies, and implementing the co-development procedures. It's been quite nicely, it's been elaborated and explored and researched in a number of different projects and contexts throughout the years, but what we usually try to reuse is one generic model that's been used quite frequently in Sweden, which shows off these steps in a quite kind of illustrative way, just to show that there are specific steps, there are paths that we need to consider and choose when we go into these types of co-development processes. To return to this process description, this is what we're now offering funding for. Not funding for necessarily going through all of the steps, because they can be quite elaborate and complex, but rather in enabling the procurer to go through one steps or a number of activities belonging to one steps and being able to proceed to the next one. But what does that mean more specifically? We invite joint proposals for capacity building activities throughout this process, and this can mean for activities, workshops about exploring and defining any unmet need that you have, for study visits or travel to explore or dive more deeply into that need, for market analysis, for understanding what products are available targeting those needs, services for developing a procurement plan that can fit your organization and governance, or other types of external consulting services, such as, for instance, IPR rights or procurement law. How do we navigate in these co-development processes so it's aligned with procurement law? This is a simplified funding scheme offered by the Procure4Health project. It offers up to 30,000 euros. You can go for lesser amounts than that, but we usually recommend going for the full 30,000 to maximize the potential of impact in your organization and the capacity that you can build being supported by this funding. Over this spring, we are doing 2 cutoff dates, which we'll show in a couple of slides. The first one by mid-April, and the second one by mid-June. And as per reporting, I would say that it's quite simple reporting when it comes to reporting your progress or activities throughout the project. There are no financial reporting, but rather progress reports at midterm and final term. So we try to make this as simple as possible for the awarded participant. So what are the benefits of awarded twinnings? We've had a number of awarded twinnings up to this point. So this is the latest round, as been indicated by Carlos and Maria. And what they all point to is the benefits when it comes to building internal capacity when it comes to adoption and procurement of innovation. This is basically what needs to happen for us to be able to see fuller impact from these innovation procurement procedures. The current participants and previous participants have been able to take on relevant and necessary external costs, such as the one we already mentioned, from acquiring market studies, IPR management strategies fit for purpose for innovation procurement, or legal procurement expertise advice. And again, all of these activities can cost up to 30K with minimal reporting, supported by us. So what is the timeline right now? We launched this funding opportunity last week on February 14th. Today we have this information session, this launch, and then we're doing the first cutoff date at April 17th, and the second and final cutoff date on June 17th. And normally it is obviously it is open to everyone to choose whichever cutoff days it's most fitting for your current status, but we really like to push, if possible, towards the first cutoff days, because what normally happens with these kinds of models is that it is likely that it will be less competitive than the final one. So just to increase your chances or opportunities, that could be one approach. The maximum duration of the proposed Twinnings plan is going to be 6 months. There is going to be some flexibility around that, but not a lot. And all of the necessary documents that you'll need are available on the Procure4Health community platform and on the official webpage. I think this is all for my first part of the presentation. I'm going to hand over the word to my project partner Ali. Will tell you more about the platform, more about the types of matchmaking support that you can find on the platform as well. And then we'll get back to more of the documentation and what you need to do. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So my name is Ali, and I work with the Healthcare Without Harm Europe, and we're a project partner for the Procure4Health project. We are responsible to set the platform. So for this, I would go just very briefly into the platform, and if you're interested to apply for the Twinnings, if you're interested to find a partner, so these are the steps you just have to follow in order to have a successful application towards Twinning. On the other one, I would just want you to meet me I'll be your technical reference guy. So anything you need that requests technical assistance, or that you find yourself lost where to apply, how to apply, where to find the documents, you could feel free to reach out to me. I will share my contact by the end of my presentation. For now, I will share my screen and go on a tour on the platform itself. So if you are in Procure4Health, you should be familiar with this website on the top here. It's community.procure4health.eu. If you're not registered yet, it's the first step you have to do in order to apply for the Twinnings. You can simply register with your Google account, LinkedIn account, or you can create your own account on the platform. It's a very dynamic, user-friendly platform. You will be updated with all of the Procure4Health activities. But in this session, I will focus precisely on how to apply for the Twinnings activities. So there is a page dedicated for the Twinnings activities. It is simply on the left navigation bar. You would go to the Twinning activities, and you would have this simple options. You will know brief about the Twinnings, but you will be able to reach the documents by clicking on download application documents, and you will be redirected to the document pages. And if you completed the documents and you want to apply, you simply go to apply now. It will redirect you to a form, a very simple form where you can fill, but also you can add your files that you just completed. When you do this, then you have successfully completed the Twinning application. Now, this is in case you have partners and you've already know what are the 2 or more organizations that are going to apply together. In case you're one organization and you do not have you do not have a partner and you are interested in twinning and you want to find who is else interested in twinning. So here you have to go to the find a partner option, and by clicking at it, it will get you to this page. At this page, you will be able to navigate through organizations that have already posted that they are interested. You could reach out to those organizations in order to form a matchmaking. So, for example, this is one of the organizations that's interested. This is what you read about the description. What are they interested in specifically? And you will also have their email address over here or contact information in order to reach out to this organization. Now, in case you don't find your interest with any organization and you wish that yourself can post an interest, so you go to my expression of interest on the top right, and you simply add a new entry. It will take you directly to this entry where you can add the title of your twinning interest, a small description. You can add a photo, and last thing is what you have to add is your email addresses or contact details in order that the other partners who are interested in your twinning description to contact you. This is very brief, and to final my presentation, I want you to have this one open just for a few and save my contact. You can reach out for any technical assistance that you might require during the application process. This will be further shared, and also my contact detail will be further shared on the website. So
Ali, you can also copy and paste in the chat, so
okay,
you can
write
send to everybody your contact detail as well.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ali. So let's move to the next slot. So Magnus,
Thank
the
you
floor
very
is
much,
yours.
Maria. Thank you, Ali, for this presentation. We're going to proceed with going through a little bit about the document structure that you need to submit for your proposal. And I know that Carlos promised you 5 important tips for the proposal. I've reduced it to 3, so consider these your most important ones, basically. It is going to be quite straightforward. For the different documents that are required for you to submit your proposal, there is going to be one admin form for ensuring eligibility with the call. There's going to be one technical form for describing your Twinnings approach, your activities, and your expected outcomes. And there is going to be one financial form for adding the estimated financial details of those activities that you have proposed. So we'll be starting with the admin form. I'm just going to show them quite briefly. As mentioned, they are available through the website and the community. And if you have any types of questions afterwards, after checking on them, you just let us know. In this admin form, you ensure your eligibility with the call, basically, by providing the necessary legal identification papers, by confirming the various sets of declarations of honor, and confirming also compliance with call purposes. This is a typical screenshot of what this form looks like. So it's pretty straightforward. It is a PDF. You download it. Just check your marks wherever applicable, and you include it in the documentations that you provide. So hopefully you will not need to spend too much time in particular on this particular form, but rather where we expect to spend that time is on the technical form, which is the description of your Twinnings approach, the activities that you intend to do. So these descriptions need to cover 3 different main sections, basically. The excellence section, the expected impacts, and your expected implementation or work plan. You could say that section 1 introduces your Twinnings partners, your concepts. Section 2 dives a little bit deeper into what kind of outcomes you would expect from your Twinnings activities. And quite obvious, section 3 is more of a description of the work plan, the necessary milestones that you would have, and the types of activities reports that would come out of it. In terms of section 1, these are the typical questions that you will need to consider and respond to. These are not things that we expect you to, these are things that we expect you to respond to quite briefly. No long novels are needed for responding to these things, and I think that goes for all sections. In section 2, you should consider obviously the instructions given under each section and under each topic when you develop your response, so that you can make sure that you respond to each of the instructions or the perspectives that are given here. And I'm not going into the work plan section. For the financial form, it is quite typical for these types of projects. I would also say the same about the technical form. You use this the provided Excel sheet for describing the types of staff that will be involved in your Twinnings activities, the costs of those staff, and if you have any other external cost items that you would like to include in your activities as well, you define those and specify their purposes. So this calculates a total sum quite automatically for your proposal. It is quite straightforward, I would say. And as Ali suggested as well, if you have any types of questions in the process of developing your content for these forms, you just let us know. We can schedule joint calls, we can schedule individual calls just to support you to fully understand what we're looking for in the development of these forms. To conclude a little bit, I think these are the key 3 points to understand and use as your starting points when developing this content. And I think they're all quite obvious, but still necessary to emphasize. Obviously, look through every question respond to every question, since all of them are scored individually, and they're also as described in the request for proposal thresholds that you need to reach for each individual requirement. So, for instance, leaving any of them as not applicable will not do, and you would be rejected quite quickly. Secondly, as we pointed to, read the instructions of each subsection and understand what we're looking for in that specific subsections. By doing that, you can ensure that you're given the potential score that you're looking for, basically, to be able to be awarded. And finally, we are a number of people in participating in these evaluations of proposals, and it's always easiest to understand and evaluate a proposal if it's been given a good structure, something straightforward, which can be naturally understood for a first-time reader, basically, when going through these evaluations. And I think these might seem like quite generic advice, but nevertheless always good to keep in mind when preparing these types of proposals. And if you have any types of questions through this process about the timeline, about the purposes, about what's expected from you, or anything else, just contact myself or our coordinator at Andalusia over these emails, and these are available as well in the material that's been provided. That was all for me. I think we are proceeding to a Q&A session. I'm going to leave the word to Maria and Carlos, and as a final point, I would just recommend you to stick around until after the questions for Esther to provide some info about a different set of coaching services as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Magnus, for this presentation about the call for Twinnings opportunity. And we have received a question from Sonia Hansen. So she's asking us if do we always know the unmet need? So Magnus, can you cover this question in terms of the need?
I think that what we are, I think it might be easiest if I just also go back to that specific slide. In terms of exploring one's needs, these needs are not challenges or needs that are being provided from us in the Procure4Health project, but rather it's an important step in the innovation adoption journey for your organization to get started. What are the needs that we need to address for our organization? It can be societal needs, it can be organizational needs when it comes to how do we govern procurement or innovation procurement, for instance. So in your proposal that you prepare, one thing that can be focused on and emphasized and be approached in your proposal can be to better understand and explore your unmet need that you need to address. And that can be one thing that you propose activities, workshops, or whatever it might be to better understand and define. You can also choose any other step or activity through this process that's being illustrated here to be your particular focus in your Twinnings proposal.
Thank you, Magnus. So I hope it has been clarified now. And we have another question from Terje. Yeah, this is the new update of this third call. So should the twinning partner be a member of the consortium? So go ahead, Magnus.
I'm not going to say should, but the new component that we have in this call is that they can be. And what we are approving, or what is eligible in this call, is that we can have a combination of current Procure4Health members organizations, of which there are a few, and external organizations not being members. So this is what we are permitting, and at this point. And for anyone who wants to learn more about who is actually part and member of the Procure4Health community, you can either go obviously to the project website, or you can go to the request for proposals, the invitation document for request for proposal, which introduces this entire funding mechanism. In one of the attachments, we have a table of all of the members that are currently part of the Procure4Health consortium and can be approached to be part of your Twinnings proposal.
Yeah, that's it. So I just share with all the... Oh, sorry, Carlos. No, just to say that I just shared the link to our webpage where the attendees can find the Procure4Health funding members. So there you will find a breakdown with the procurers, so with the healthcare procure organization that we have in the consortium from the very beginning. So have a look at it, and there you can find who of them are part of the project. So go ahead, Carlos.
No, I just want to emphasize a bit the Magnus message, and this is directly to those assistants that are founding member of the consortium. I see a few. I mean, just to make it clear, as you know, we have these first two call for Twinnings that we're funding through our Cascade program. We're only focusing on let's say external procurers, those that were not at the very beginning of the Procure4Health community, not founding members. What we are doing now, because we know there has been an interest and we've been able to structure it, is that we can fund partnerships among, let's say, an external and internal member. The only constraint that Procure4Health funding members have to take into account is that they cannot get additional funding. I mean, they cannot get any of those up to 30K euros. But what they can do is use the resources they already have allocated in Twinnings to engage in these activities for this. I mean, they will be eligible any travel cost or whatever other cost that it implies engaging into a twinning. Okay, just to make it this clear.
Yeah, so this will reach the partnership because they will have the opportunity to make up this consortium between an external and internal one partner. Okay, so no further questions. So I don't know if somebody else wants to ask something additional in terms of the program, application process, submission documents, and so on. So any other doubts or concerns in this session?
In the meantime, I can add that one typical question that we have received numerous times in previous calls is obviously what are the eligibility criteria? Is my organization eligible for this funding opportunity? And it's obviously stated crystal clear in the invitation to tender documentation that you need to check. But just to provide an excerpt, it is open to, as it's stated, public and private procurers working in health and social care sectors established in member states or in Horizon associated countries. So typically healthcare providers that procure services. I think that is the easiest way to say who are eligible and who is not. It is eligible for groups or procuring organizations that gather several members that adhere to this eligibility criteria. As we are discussing now, it's eligible for combinations of existing Procure4Health partners and external organizations, and also that organizations that have been awarded in previous calls for external twinnings in this project are also eligible, depending on some eligibility criteria that's also stated in this documentation. So I think those are the most expected questions that we respond to during this process.
Okay, we have thank you, Magnus. So I think that it will be really useful for the applicants. And we have another question from Terje. I'm not sure I understood the difference between funding for internal and external member. Please explain once more.
What is eligible if one organization that is already part of the Procure4Health consortium, let's call them an internal member, partners up with any other organizations which also adhere to these eligibility criteria. This, I mean, we can call this a combination of internal and external, and they are eligible to submit a proposal together. However, since the internal organization that's already part of the Procure4Health project already received grant and funds from the project and from the European Commission, they cannot receive additional funds from this twinning funding. So that means that if such a combination of one internal and one external organization comes together to submit a joint proposal, all of the funds will go to the external organization. And that also means that in this case, the external organizations needs to be appointed the lead partner, so to speak, of that partnership, because it is the lead partner that receives the actual financial transaction from the project. If there are any uncertainties or unclarification about this model, just reach out to us and we can describe more in detail. it's also stated in the invitation to tender documentation what's the approach here.
Carlos, you have your hand
No,
raised.
yes, just was an emphasis. I mean, for those that have any doubt, if you did sign the grant agreement, you're receiving funding. Funds to engage in the Procure4Health, you are an internal member. If you did not sign the grant agreement, even if you registered in our platform months ago, you're considered an external member and you are eligible to receive extra funding for your training activities. If you did sign your grant agreement, you can engage in this and the costs are eligible, but not any more funding. Brief overview.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So yeah, we have another last question. So from Georgia, who can be the leader of the twinning proposal, the internal co-founder or the external member? So maybe it can be already, but
yeah, I think I think I already mentioned that the internal member cannot be the appointed lead partner, but it needs to be the external organization.
Okay.
Perfect. So any
sorry, Maria. It is just a practical issue because we have to, when we hand the resources, the money, we only do it to the leader and then they get it among them. So we have to do it to the external one. It's more of a administrative constraint.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So anyhow, you have any further question, you can contact us. So I'm going to type into the chat the Procure4Health contact email address, so you can send us your main question and concern. And now I think that if we don't have further questions from attendees, we can move to the last part of the session. So now we have Esther from Salud, another of our Procure4Health members. So it's the floor is yours, Esther, to present the Health InnoFacilitator project.
Thank you very much, Maria. Proceeding to share my screen, let me know when you can see it. Okay, I think that should be working now. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna be very brief for everyone who is here. Just let you know that a Health InnoFacilitator project is a project that has quite a lot of in common with Procure4Health in terms of creating a community and leveraging capabilities and promoting innovation within the healthcare sector. Okay, and the reason why we are talking about this project in this webinar is because we think we can promote each other's in these projects. So basically, I would like to introduce you to a call that we have currently open, right? And it's about ad hoc individual coaching and tutorial sessions that has to do with what we have already explained also in Procure4Health, as identifying unmet needs and helping around the PPI process and so on. So we see it as a way of even maybe helping you out with this third call that we are promoting within the Procure4Health. So it could be a way of understanding better the innovation process and understanding better how you can get benefits from either the Procure4Health coaching call or the InnoFacilitator coaching call. As you can see, is training workshops and adult coaches and tutorial sessions. The deadline is this 29th of February. So to understand better what we are looking for is basically public procurers. And we have two main topics. Okay, so we have the first topic that is advise public buyers on the formulation of their needs. Which means that we can help you out to understand better how to identify those unmet needs and how those unmet needs can be relevant for your organization or for the challenges or for future projects and so on. And when we have the topic 2, that is advise public buyers on the PPI process. It can be whether a process that you are currently working in, or it can be a process that you are planning to work in. So we can see into the different phases of the project and understand where you might need some support, or maybe we can get to understand better what are the next steps if you have doubts. So basically, as I said before, it's ad hoc coaching sessions, so we can really try to understand what you need and provide those services and those help. Okay. So what in terms of beneficiaries, we have we're gonna select 3 beneficiaries for the topic 1, which is the formulation of their needs, and then we're gonna pick 2 beneficiaries for topic 2, that is advice, public buyers on the PPI process. Just to let you know that you can apply for both topics. Okay, so if you're interested in both topics, it's okay that you apply for both. Obviously, we will also have in the formulation that you pick which one do you prefer, in case that there are other public buyers interested and we cannot select you in all of them. But it could be an option that we can help you out in both of them, so that will cover the whole process, right? What does this mean in terms of working hours, right? So for the topic 1, we have 5 mandates of expert assistance given free of charge to the selected applicant. So this means also prepare information. So maybe it's not 5 full mandates of ad hoc session with a public provider, but it's quite a lot of time to identify needs, or for example, what I was saying before, helping you out with the Procure4Health call as part of those identifying needs and how you want to apply for the Procure4Health training call, and how it will be the best way of doing so, and what we can benefit and so on, right? And for the topic 2, we have 2 mandates of expert assistance that are also free of charge. And again, as I said before, we can help you out to understand better in which part of the PPI process will you need further assistance, because really, as you know, it's quite an extended process, so it's not possible to assess all the different points. So we will do that kind of a prior analysis to understand where you will benefit most about those 2 mandates of expert assistance. So then, now that you're really interested in this call, I know, because it's really interesting and it can really help you out even with this specific project of InnoFacilitator, also with Procure4Health, also in other projects that you may be working currently on already. So basically, you just need to check the call. We have here the link, right? We have a community. You do not need to be part of the community to participate, although we encourage you to be part of the community, because you will find there resources that are useful and then you can probably benefit from. Then you need to complete the application form. I'm gonna share now what are those documents. It's quite easy in terms of, we just have a document where you just have to check boxes, or maybe write a little bit about information that will help us out to give a better service. And finally, you just have to submit the proposal. You have here the email. You can also send us any doubts you may have to this email, right? So regarding the documents that you need to be applied, you have the call for coaching services innovation. Here is what you need to know about the call. It explains all that I've tried to explain very briefly in a more specific and detailed way. Then you have the Annex 1, that is the administrative template, that is just common information that we need to know about the public provider. So it's quite easy, and it just helps us to understand better what kind of organization are you, so then we can help you out better. And then we have the Annex 2 for the topic 1 and the Annex 2 for the topic 2. I repeat, you can submit both of them, and you will have the options to select which one do you prefer to be chosen for, in case you cannot be in both. you have this in the link that I shared before. I'm just gonna put it here again. You can download the documents from this link, okay, and then you can just submit it to the email that I'm sharing here, okay. And basically that's it. This is a calendar that we are currently thinking that maybe we can shorten sometimes, but what we're not gonna change is obviously the deadline of the coaching call, which is 29th of February, and then probably we will start early April working with you with topic 1 and 2. And that's all from my side. I hope that I haven't gone too fast, but I don't want to wait to not be able to have some questions. Yes, Carlos, you are mute.
Well, I think we're about time. We're about to finish this webinar. I just wanted to emphasize your message. We are with the initiative. We seek the same, let's say, empowerment of health and care services providers for the uptake of the procurement of innovation instrument, and we want to leverage the synergies among these opportunities. For instance, the timing is just right. Let's picture, for instance, that you are interested in preparing and submitting a proposal for our comfort units, from which you can get some funding, but you still have some doubts. Okay, well, what is my actual situation? What is the diagnosis I can make about what should be my point of focus throughout the procurement of innovation journey, in which I should capacitate myself? So we understand that these coaching services could be a good starting point, and they're free of charge, to also, at the end, be able to have a full picture of what is your actual situation, and therefore prepare a good competitive proposal for our for Twinnings. So I think there is a good timing among this initiative, and they can help each other. Okay, that's it from my side. I don't know, Maria. One final message from my side would be, please do not hesitate to contact us at any point with any doubt you may have, seeking partners, the frame of the proposal, the focus of the proposal, the legibility, anything that Magnus already commented on that might come up when you are building up your proposal. We are here to help. And once again, do not hesitate to contact us.
Yeah, exactly. So I will send an email, a follow-up email after the session with the link to watch a webinar replay and to download presentation as well. So you will have the opportunity to have all the materials and to start working on your proposal. And as Carlos just said, if you have any question, you can contact us through the Procure4Health contact email address. So I share with you through the chat already. So good luck for all the potential applicants for this new call for Twinnings, and for the InnoFacilitator project. So it is a complementary opportunity, so you can leverage both of them and improve your skill, and to take your skill to the next level in terms of innovation procurement. So two very good funding opportunities, and so go ahead. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you, Esther, and thank you, Carlos, Magnus, and Ali for being here today and for this insightful session under our Procure4Health community. Let's keep in touch. So we will be waiting for your proposal, for your training proposal. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.